Hey everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Darren here. I've got to tell you, I was sitting in my car the other day, engine off, just for a minute before heading into the grocery store. And for that brief moment, it was quiet. No podcast, no music, no notifications, just silence. And it hit me how rare that is these days, right?
Oh, absolutely, Darren. Peter here. And I know exactly what you mean. It's like we've become so accustomed to constant auditory input that actual silence almost feels foreign, doesn't it? It's like our brains are hardwired for background noise now, and when it's gone, there's this weird moment of what's next.
Exactly. And it's not just the external noise, is it? It's the internal chatter too. The endless to-do lists, the what-ifs, the scrolling through social media in our heads. We're bombarded from all sides. And it made me think, are we losing something vital by always being on?
I think we absolutely are. And that's why I've been really leaning into this idea lately that silence isn't just an absence of sound, it's actually becoming one of the most powerful tools we have for mental clarity in this incredibly noisy world. It's a skill almost that we need to relearn.
A skill, I like that. Because it does feel like it takes practice, doesn't it? My first attempts at just sitting in silence felt awkward, like I was waiting for something to happen, or for my phone to buzz. It felt almost unproductive.
Totally. It's a muscle we haven't been exercising, but when you start to practice it, even for a few minutes, you notice a shift. For me, it was after a particularly stressful week. I just felt scattered, like my brain was a dozen tabs open, all playing different videos at once. I needed a reset.
That's a perfect analogy. The dozen tabs open feeling. So what did you do?
I actually went for a walk, but I left my headphones at home, which for me is huge. Usually it's a podcast or music, but I just walked, listened to the birds, the rustle of leaves, and honestly, it was uncomfortable at first. My mind just kept trying to fill the void, but I kept at it, and by the end, I felt lighter, more focused, like some of those tabs had actually closed.
That's exactly it. It's like your brain finally gets a chance to process things, to declutter. I read somewhere that even short periods of silence can help regenerate brain cells in the hippocampus, which is linked to memory and emotion. It's not just a feeling, there's actual science behind it, you know?
That's fascinating. So it's literally making us smarter, or at least giving our brains a chance to function optimally. I think a lot of people associate silence with boredom or loneliness, but it's really the opposite when you approach it intentionally. It's about connecting with yourself, not disconnecting from the world.
Exactly. And for me, the biggest benefit has been in decision making. When you're constantly stimulated, it's hard to hear your own thoughts, your own intuition. But when you give yourself that space, those answers, or at least a clearer path, tend to emerge.
Absolutely. It's like when you're trying to figure something out, but the TV's on and someone's talking and your phone's buzzing. Good luck. Your brain is expending so much energy just filtering out the noise that it can't focus on the actual problem. Silence takes away that energetic tax.
Yeah, it's a tax on our cognitive resources. And I think a lot of us are just running on empty, always trying to process too much. I mean, think about it. From the moment we wake up, alarm goes off, we check our phones, news, social media, then commute with traffic or podcasts, then work with emails and meetings, then home with TV, more social media. When do we actually get a break?
Never, or rarely. And then we wonder why we feel overwhelmed, anxious, or just plain tired, even after a full night's sleep. Our brains are constantly in input mode, rarely in processing and organizing mode. Silence gives it that much-needed processing time.
So, how can people start incorporating more silence into their lives, especially if they're just starting out and find it a bit intimidating?
That's a great question. I think the key is to start small and not put too much pressure on yourself. Don't think you need to go on a silent retreat for a week. Start with micro moments, like your car example. 5 minutes in the car before you go into the store or before you get out and start your day.
Oh, that's so doable. Just 5 minutes.
Exactly. Or when you're making coffee in the morning, instead of immediately grabbing your phone or turning on the news, just be present with the sound of the kettle, the smell of the coffee. It's not about achieving some deep meditative state immediately. It's just about creating a little pocket of quiet in your day.
I've heard of people who do silent mornings, where they don't engage with any media for the first hour of their day. No phone, no TV, no music, just them. I'm not going to lie, that sounds a little hardcore for me right now, but I can see the appeal.
It can be, for sure, but even a modified version could be powerful, maybe just the first 15 minutes, or maybe it's not in the morning, but rather the last 15 minutes before bed. Instead of scrolling, just sit in a quiet room, maybe read a physical book, or just reflect on the day without any external input.
That's a great point. Using silence to wind down. I know for me, if I scroll right up until I close my eyes, my brain feels like it's still running a marathon when I'm trying to sleep. A little bit of quiet could really help with sleep quality too, I bet.
Absolutely. Our nervous systems need that downtime to switch from fight or flight to rest and digest. Constant stimulation keeps us in that high alert state, even if we're just passively consuming content. Silence helps our bodies and minds regulate themselves.
So beyond just reducing stress, what other benefits have you personally noticed from intentionally seeking out silence?
Well, for one, my creativity has definitely gotten a boost. When I'm not filling every spare moment with input, my mind has room to wander, and that's where new ideas, new connections, and even solutions to problems often pop up. It's like giving your subconscious a chance to speak.
I totally get that. It's like when you're trying to remember a word and you keep racking your brain, but the moment you stop trying, it just appears. Silence creates that space for things to just appear.
Exactly. And another thing is, I've noticed a significant improvement in my ability to focus when I do need to be productive. Because I'm regularly giving my brain a break, it's not as fatigued when it needs to concentrate. It's like hitting a reset button for my attention span.
That's huge in today's world, where everyone talks about how short our attention spans have become. So it's not just about managing external distractions, but also about building up our internal capacity for sustained focus.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like a mental workout. The more you practice being in silence, the stronger your mental focus muscle becomes. And it doesn't always have to be total, complete silence either. Sometimes just stepping away from stimulating content, even if there's ambient noise, can be beneficial.
Right, like just going outside and listening to the natural sounds, rather than putting in headphones. That's a different kind of quiet, isn't it? It's not a sensory deprivation chamber. It's just a shift in the type of input.
Precisely. The sounds of nature are actually restorative. They're not demanding our attention in the same way human speech or music with lyrics does. They allow our minds to passively observe, which is a very different kind of engagement.
So true. I mean, think about the feeling of being in a forest or by the ocean. There's a certain peacefulness that comes from those sounds that you just don't get from, say, a busy street corner, even if both have noise.
It's a different neural pathway, really. The human-made noise, the traffic, the alarms, the conversations, those often trigger our alert system. Natural sounds tend to soothe it. So, if true, dead silence is intimidating, nature is a fantastic stepping stone.
That's a really good point for anyone listening who might be thinking, I can't just sit in a silent room. Start with nature. Go for a walk without your phone, or if you bring it, put it on airplane mode, and just listen to the world around you.
Exactly. And don't beat yourself up if your mind races initially. That's normal. It's like trying to quiet a really excitable puppy. It takes a gentle but consistent approach. Just acknowledge the thoughts, and then bring your attention back to the present, back to the quiet or the natural sounds.
I think part of the discomfort, too, comes from a fear of what we might find in the quiet. Sometimes our own thoughts can be loud or unsettling, but that's also where the clarity comes from, right? Confronting those things in a safe space.
Absolutely. Silence isn't about escaping your thoughts. It's about giving yourself the space to truly hear them without all the external noise drowning them out. And that can be challenging, but it's also incredibly liberating and ultimately incredibly powerful for self-understanding.
It's like finally being able to hear your inner voice, which is so often muted by everything else. That's where authenticity, true creativity, and genuine decision-making come from, I think. It's not about being unproductive. It's about deeper, more meaningful productivity.
Couldn't agree more. And it truly is becoming more powerful because it's so scarce. In a world clamoring for our attention 24/7, the ability to intentionally step back, create boundaries, and cultivate inner quiet is a superpower. It's a competitive advantage even, in terms of mental agility and resilience.
A superpower. I love that. So for anyone listening, maybe challenge yourself this week. Find one 5-minute pocket of silence. Maybe it's in the car, maybe it's making coffee, maybe it's just sitting and staring out the window. Just give your brain a little break.
Yeah, and don't judge it. Just observe what happens. You might be surprised by the clarity, the peace, or even just the subtle shift in your mood. It's a journey, not a destination, but it's a journey well worth taking in this loud, loud world.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. Silence isn't empty, it's full of potential. Thanks so much for joining me today, Peter. This was a really insightful conversation.
Thanks for having me, Darren. Always a pleasure. And to everyone listening, go find your quiet. You might just find yourself in the process.